Hello everyone and welcome one of the first video about an investment. Today we're gonna talk about the stocks, what they are, where they come from, where you can get them, and etc. I will start with the funny fact. Some of you guys are already investing money in the stocks even though knowing about it. If you are a US citizen and you have a 401k plan, some part of the money over there is invested in the stocks. If you're a Canadian and you have an RSP plan, some part of the money is invested in the stocks. If you are a Kiwi, New Zealander, and you have a Kiwi saver, some part of the money is invested in the stocks. So it's pretty important what the stocks are, even if you're thinking that you're actually not investing in them. But before I will drop on you a dry definition what the stocks are, I like to start with a simple story which will draw you pictures what the stocks are if you actually not really heard about them before, other than just hearing from TV. Okay, let's say there's a Steve, and Steve is the owner of a chocolate company. And he wants to expand his business. In order to do that, he needs some sort of financing. And let's say he has two options. One of the options is go to the bank and get a loan. But that have like a withdrawal, because the banks tend to have high interest rates. And at some point, Steve will need to pay off his debt. The other option which Steve has is going and issuing stocks. And let's say for a story, Steve decided to go and issue stocks. He decided to raise $100,000 in order to make his plan working. He decided to issue 100 stocks, which means one stock will be worth $1,000. And the stocks will be sold to the public. It's not always the case that the stocks are sold to the public. Sometimes company can sell the stocks to the employees directly, or just like small group of people. But let's say in this case, Steve decided to sell to the publicity, to anyone who actually want to buy it. And the first time when company is selling his stocks to publicity, we call it initial public offering. And we'll speak about it later in the details, because it's really important. What is it? Because there's lots of scam around it. Let's say Steve found investors for his business and he sold his stocks. And some people bought one, some people bought like more of the stocks, and etc. Important information here is that if you bought the stocks as a stock owner, you actually have a right to sell your stocks for as much money you want to. Even if you bought it for $1,000, you can even sell it for $2,000 if you find someone who's willing to pay that money for it. Okay? And let's say that was a great move what Steve did in terms of his company. Let's say his company, exploded and he started making lots of profit, lots of income. So now Steve needs to decide what to do with that income. And he actually with that profit which company is making, he actually having two options. He can go and reinvest it in the company and expand the business even more. Or he can pay off some money to investors, to people, to the shareholders. And let's say he want to pay off some part of a profit to the people who own the stocks. And when companies do that, we say that the company pays off dividends. And dividends it's a portion of a company profit, which as a stockholder you will get, which is pretty cool, because if you own more stocks, the more money you will get. And usually dividends I pay off in some sort of set of intervals. Could be annually, quarterly, and etc. Some of the companies don't pay dividends at all, so it's not a rule that the company needs to pay off dividends. It also depends on the class of the stocks which you own, and we'll talk about it later, so no worry. Important thing to mention is that, let's say, if the Steve company is paying off lots of dividends in good intervals, like every year, and his company doing very well and paying off lots of dividends. If you own the stock, you can imagine that it's actually pretty cool, because every year you get some sort of part of of a company profit. You can imagine that there will be lots of people who want to buy that stock from you. So you can imagine that the value of a stock actually will grow. Yes, you bought it for $1,000, but now you have lots of people who are willing to buy it from you because they want to get those dividends. So now instead of selling it for $1,000, you can sell it for $2,000. And now you can see that the prices of the stocks tends to fluctuate a lot. They go up and down. It depends on the company and on lots of different factors. And actually, we don't fully understand, and we never will, what is really influencing the prices of the stocks. We know the few factors, but the prices of the stocks are unpredictable. And we'll talk about this in later videos in details. But for now, you need to understand that no one is able to actually predict it.